Empty bottles of red wine laying on the floor from last night. We got a little drunk, yeah. Now I'm a little numb. Spending hours by your bedside, talking till it's dark out somehow. Can get you off my.
Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Snack Cackle Talk, and I am your host, Lacey. This is Relationship Saturday, okay, you guys? And I have a topic for you guys. I know you guys that are hopping on my feed. Y'all see that title, The Single Mother versus the Single Father. Okay. On TikTok, the title says the single mom versus the single dad. Okay, y'all are limited. But today's topic is the single mother versus the single father. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a minute to hop on this feed. Okay. Um, and then after I go through my topic, I do have my cards that I am going to go through today. Okay. So I'm going to try, fingers crossed, I am going to try to get through this topic so that I can also get through the cards. But if not, then I'll just only do just one round of cards if I have to. That'll be just fine. Okay. I will say this though, for all of my Facebook viewers, if you attempt to comment while I am live, you are going to have to, excuse me, you are going to have to switch over from um, my personal live followers. Y'all are gonna have to switch over to my Snack Cackle Talk Facebook page, okay, in order to comment on this topic. Um, I just recently found out that the reason why I can't see any of my Facebook followers' comments is because they're not on my Snack Cackle Talk page. Okay, so you're gonna have to go to that page in order to comment on my feed. Okay, um, this TikTok, you guys, y'all can comment on here. It's just not gonna show on my feed, so I'm just gonna have to read your comments as you post them, or you too can switch over to my Facebook Snack Cackle Talk page or my YouTube Snack Cackle Talk page. That way, you guys can comment on that page, okay? But other than that, I can get y'all's comments through TikTok just fine. Okay, so let's get started on this topic. Okay, so we all know that when single mothers they let a man know that they are single, they're getting I don't know, some arms put out there from the guys like pump the brakes. We ain't interested in a woman with kids kind of thing. Um, Where's the father? Is he still involved? How's the relationship? Which I will say, all of those are good questions, okay? And yes, they do need to be answered. But the answer shouldn't stop you per se, depending upon what it is, from pursuing a single mother, okay? But that's not what single mothers are getting. And when it comes to men, single fathers, it's a total different thing. Women embrace single fathers. They are deemed heroes amongst their peers, their friends, their male companions. They're looked up to. Okay, versus that's not what single mothers get. Single mothers get shunned, they get bashed, they get talked about, they get looked down upon, they get shamed for being a single mother. Okay. So that is why we are having this topic, the single mother versus the single father, because the contrast between the two are night and day. Okay, they are very different. They are heaven and hell. They are very different. Okay. And I don't know why. And I would love for people to comment while I am live versus when I'm not live. I would love to interact with you while I'm live. That way I can get everybody's input live and in action. Okay. Yes, I get comments on my stuff, but it's usually after the fact, after I've ended my live, then stuff will start coming through. But I'd love to get the comments while I'm live because a lot of people have a lot of things to say about this topic, but once someone like myself bring it to the forefront, there's not a lot being said. And yes, no, I am not well known, but I am building myself. So feel free to comment, okay? Your comment should not be based on my number status, okay? But let's move forward, okay? When there is such a double standard between the two, between the single mother and the single father, when there's that double standard, it comes to single it comes how can I really word it? It comes off as a disdain for the single mother, as a punishment for her being single, even though her being single may not even be her fault, but it could be her choice. Okay. As a single mother, she could be single because the father could have cheated and she had her standards and just wasn't going to put up with being cheated on. Okay, understandable. She could be single because maybe the father left on his own accord, didn't want the responsibilities of being a father once he made those kids. That is a factor, okay, that a lot of people are not taking into consideration. Maybe she's single because he was abusive, whether it be physically, mentally, financially, emotionally. Like he could have just, she could have just had the cup just runneth over. That was just one drop too many. She was done. Okay. Why people expect why they expect mothers to accept abuse from the fathers of their children just so that they're not single is crazy. Okay. The same thing goes for the single father. He could be single because the mother, she just left on her own and left him with the kids. That does happen. Or she could have passed away. 9 times out of 10, most fathers that end up with their kids, it either be because the mother has passed on, or very seldom she just didn't want them. And in today's time, it is becoming more common for some of these women to not want their kids because they don't want to be an added number to the count of being a single mother while the father's out there living his best life. Like he don't have responsibilities. And they do still come with those exact same responsibilities, even if they're not with the kids. But you can't get men to understand that concept. And I'm not understanding why. But you want to shun and disrespect and talk down on and look down upon single mothers and treat them like shit for being single. They're single because they want to be. Some of them, even the ones that don't want to be single, they don't want to just settle for just anything just so that they're not single. Okay. Versus the men, on the other hand, they're not going to accept just any woman into their home to mother their children just because they don't want to be single. So I'm not understanding why there's such a difference, but there is. The men are being praised while the women are being looked down upon. They are being shunned. They are being talked about. They are being mistreated because they are single mothers. And I just kind of want some clarity. Why do people feel that way? Pretty much. That's all I want. And I would love for you guys to comment on what are your thoughts on this whole topic, this whole ordeal. of what you think single mothers versus the single father. Okay. Me personally, they should be treated the same. Okay. They should be treated the same. Um, here's another difference. Um, Single mothers are deemed to be carrying baggage. Okay. A single father's carrying baggage too. Shit. They're carrying baggage too. Okay. When I met my husband was a single father, just as I was a single mother. I had one daughter and my husband had one son. He was a single father. And yes, he had custody. He had his son living with him. Okay. But these damn baby mamas are just as bad as dealing with a baby father that's on the side. Now, so they come with baggage as well. So the same way that they don't want to deal with the female's baggage, that single mother don't want to deal with the baggage that you got coming either. Because when these baby mamas find out that you done moved on, they get to acting a donkey. So, and it can be the same way for a father, a single mother. Her baby father can act out, but it just depends on the relationship. Like for myself, um with my daughter's father and I separated, we were done. We were done with each other. We didn't have no bad breakup. We didn't have no bad relationship. We were just young. So we just grew apart and went our separate ways. So when we both moved on, it was very important that our significant others knew that our daughter was a package deal and a priority. And if you want to be with that person, you had to understand that she was a priority and she was a package deal. And yes, each of us will be involved in each other's lives. But what you're getting is men are getting with single mothers, but they don't want her to have anything to do with the father of her children. And vice versa. Women are getting with single fathers, but they don't want him to have absolutely nothing to do with the baby mama. It just depends upon your partner. It's judging your part, like what type of man or what type of female did you get with, and are they done playing the field? That would give you that notion that you don't trust them with their other parent, you know. But me personally, I didn't care. I didn't care what my baby dad did. That's his business. And I'm gonna need for him to not care what I do because it's my business. You don't live over here. I don't live over there. I don't pay your bills, and you definitely don't pay mine. And that's how we lived. No say so in between. Your say so comes with your daughter, making sure she's treated right between me and the man that I have in her life, because we are a package deal. Okay. We're a package deal. And as a mother, I had to make sure that the man that I brought around my daughter loved children. He had a son. Okay, are you involved in your son's life? Okay, let me meet your son. Let me see your son. I stepped right on in because I love kids and I treat all kids, whether I'm in a relationship with that person or not. I treat all kids as if they are mine. Okay. If you're the neighbor's child and you're doing something, I treat you as if you're mine. No, I don't talk bad to you or none of that, but I'm not going to let you do anything that's going to hurt yourself. So that's me, but everybody's not me. And I do understand that. But what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, even what I grew up with, is totally different than how I turned out. Okay. My dad has been married. I quit counting, but at least 5 times. Okay. So I've had, for a fact, 4 stepmothers. My mother was the first wife. So I've had at least 4 stepmothers for sure that came with kids. But all of those stepmothers did not treat me as if I was theirs. They treated me like a stepchild. Okay. Not all of them, just some of them. They did treat me like I was a stepchild. And I do remember that. Okay. And I did endure small forms of abuse during the process. Okay. And I don't know how to categorize my daddy's situation when that was happening. But these women took on this man that had kids. This man took on this woman that had kids. Now, I will say my father was a provider to her kids. To any wife that he got with that had kids, he was a provider to her kids. He understood the assignment and he treated those kids as if they were his. And we were all raised as if we were siblings. Okay. No one could tell us that we wasn't siblings. We was raised as such. And to this day, we are still siblings. Okay. Just FYI. He understood the assignment. But the men of today, they want the woman, but they don't want the child. I don't understand that part. They are a package deal. How can you not want the child, but you want the mother, and you know that she is a single mother? But you have kids. You expect her to want you and your kids. Make that make sense. She has to deal with you and your kids. But you can reprimand her child, but she can't reprimand your child because of the baggage that you're coming with the baby mama. And vice versa. You got women now that have kids and they get with a single father and they want him to father their kids, but don't want him to father his own kids. That's what I dealt with growing up. That was crazy. That was crazy. But I'm seeing this and I'm hearing this and I'm reading about it. So I'm not understanding. But at the end of the day, the women, though, the single mother gets more backlash for being a single mother and gets the blame, while the father that made her a single mother lives his best life and goes out dropping dimes on making more babies that he has no intentions of taking care of. Take Future, for instance, a great example. He's just dropping kids everywhere with absolutely no intentions of taking care of his kids. And then he doesn't even care when a man finally steps up to raise his son and adopts his son and gives his son his name. I don't care. What real father does that? That doesn't care. If you were involved in your son's life, you would care. You would not want his name to be changed because you are a part of his life. So it's very clear that you wasn't a part of his life. That's why you don't care. But she's in trouble. Sierra's in trouble for providing a life for her son, providing him with a father that's going to treat him like a son. She's in trouble. Why? But ain't nobody shunning Future for dropping all these babies that he has no intentions of taking care of. So that's the difference. He's a single father, but he ain't even a single father. Fathers take care of their kids. Daddies don't. Baby daddies don't hardly take care of their kids, but fathers do. That's the difference. This is Snack Cackle Talk. If you all just now hopping on this feed, I am Lacey, and this is Relationship Saturday. I'm going to leave y'all with that topic. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the differences that are between the single mother and the single father and why they are so different. If you're a person that feels like there should be a difference, hey, I want to hear about that too. Moving the dating expectations of a single mother. She's expected to prove that she can balance motherhood and relationships. Why? Why is she expected to prove to prove herself? You know, I don't understand that part. Versus the single father, he's he just finds the women that he dates finds him more attractive because they think it's real sexy that he's a single father. I don't get that part. Why is he the hero for being a single father? Even if he wasn't single, if you're fathering your children, then you're a hero as well. You don't have to be single. Same thing for the mothers. It takes a lot for a woman to get up even when she's sick, even when she's tired, even when she's broken, to still raise her children and mother her children and still try to give her children 100% of herself when she's been separated from a relationship that pretty much took everything she had. But it's like the reaction that she gets is, well, what did she do? I mean, what did she expect? I mean, she ain't the last. She ain't the first, and she ain't gonna be the last. She should just suck it up. That's pretty much what's happening. You know, um, the single father receives more support. You got people that'll help him watch his kids so he can go to work. Versus the single mother, she basically has the bed. Even when I was a single mother, it was hard for me to find a babysitter. So I pulled myself out of regular school and went to a charter school my last year of school. That way I could work and take care of my child without having to ask anybody to watch her. And no, I did not graduate with a GED. I graduated with a diploma. And yes, I have a college degree as well. So, as a single mother, I was only a single mother for maybe the first year, and with me just having just one child, and then I had a second child, single mother. But that's where I drew the line when I had the second one. Drew the line, and I've been married ever since. So I mean, women do need to find their bottom line. I will say that, so that because I know people have a type that they attract, and that's why they continuously fall into the triangles of their relationships that they keep falling into with people because they keep attracting a certain type. So it's just repeating itself. And I will say that is the baggage that they are bringing, but at the same time, so are men. Men are bringing that exact same baggage because they are chasing a type of woman. Um, what else? I don't have anything else. At least not at the moment. But y'all, I am gonna get into my card, so I'm gonna leave that topic with y'all right there. And y'all tell me what y'all think on that topic of single mothers. Okay. The cards that I am reading, if you guys are not familiar, is the Let's Get Deep cards, couples, questions for couples. And they have this card listed as a game, but this is not a game. I mean, yes, it does give you some deep conversations, uh, questions that can bring about deep conversations. So I do like the cards for that only purpose right there alone. Um, but as always, I start out with with a icebreaker card. It comes with 4 stacks of cards: the icebreaker, deep, deeper, and activity. So I do start out the conversation with an icebreaker card only because I just feels like the icebreaker card should always be first to break the ice in the conversation to get it started. Because I know that dating, you can come to the table shy or don't really know what to say. The icebreaker can kind of help get that started for you. Okay, so I'm going to start with an icebreaker card. Okay, so the icebreaker question: window or aisle seat, and why? Now, for myself, uh, this sounds like a airplane kind of question or a bus ride kind of question. I'm gonna sit by the window only because I want to see. And I'm sure my husband, he's an owl person because he's gonna want he doesn't like a lot of people sitting beside him. He wants to know that it's just me. He don't want nobody else on the other side. So, but for myself, I would choose a window seat. I mean, I'll sit on the aisle as well, but if I had to choose, I would choose a window seat. Um, let's go with an activity. I'll mix it up a little bit because usually I'll go to the deep card, but I'll go to the activity this time. Uh, close your eyes. Your partner gets to trace a message on your skin using their fingers. You have to guess what they're saying. Listen, I'm a thick chick. I ain't gonna be able to tell what he said, okay? He just gonna have to go on and just let me know. Cause I'm a thick chick. I ain't got no skinny bones, okay? I'm a thick chick. So just go on and tell me what you got to say. Uh, okay, a deeper. Oh, no, no. A deep card. A deep card. You always want to go deep before you go deeper. Okay, what's your favorite memory of you and your friends? Um, let's see. Cause I don't do anything and I don't go anywhere, so I definitely can't speak on nothing current. Um, uh, I don't know. I mean, cause as growing up, I mean, I didn't hang around that many people growing up either. Um, but growing up, I just mainly, yeah, I went up the street to play with my friends that I had in the neighborhood, and we just mainly just play street football and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, that was just fun times. But as an adult, I did have friends in high school. It was a group of 4 of us, but we never did anything as a group because they all got along with me, but they didn't all get along with each other. So everything that I did was individual. Okay. But one funny incident, I went on a double date with one of my friends and my now husband. He's my husband now. And I can't remember if we were married then, but I don't think we were. I think we was engaged. And I hooked my best friend up with his best friend on a double date so that they can get acquainted with each other because he was the best man and she was the maid of honor. And we went to the movies and oh my goodness, I cannot remember what movie we saw, but it was hilarious. It was a hilarious movie and a hilarious date and a hilarious moment. So, but I have to try to figure out that movie. I can't figure it out. Okay, night break. Here I go with this again. Hey, listen, enlighten me, okay? Because obviously you feeling different. Enlighten me on what I'm doing. Okay, let's go. Let's go deep. Another deep card. If you had the option to be famous, would you take it? Why or why not? Um, it depends. Uh, if it's for something like movies, yes, I would take it. I would take it. Only because it'll just be one of those moments where you live on forever acting in a movie because no matter what, it's always going to be out there. And it's kind of like getting on here with you guys right here and posting myself on social media. It's always going to be out there unless and all of this just kind of goes away, but it's always going to be out there. So if I whenever the Lord takes me and my kids ever want to see me, bring out a memory of me, hey, here I am. Here I am for them to see. So for those of you that haven't thought about that, think about that. Okay. This allows your family that memory. Okay. That relaxation that they can feel comfortable being able to see you anytime they miss you, you know. Uh let's get deeper. What do you think happens after death? uh It depends. I honestly feel like it depends on the meaning that you had on earth while you were here that determines your moments after death on what you will endure. You know, I'm confident that after I pass that I'll just be acquainted with all my loved ones that I miss dearly. That's what I believe. I don't feel like I've done anything that makes me feel like in my afterlife that I'm going to be forever tortured. I don't feel like that, like I'm going to be condemned or anything of the sort. So that's how I feel. Another deeper card. What is something you've been hesitant to do or accomplish because it scares you? Uh, the only thing that I've been hesitant to do is travel. I'm always hesitant to travel. I mean, I did go to Chicago, but I only went for my daughter because my daughter was graduating in the military. So that's the only reason why I went to Chicago. And when all that was said and done, and we were done visiting with her, I was ready to come back home, plain and simple. Um, the second trip that I took outside of Texas is Missouri. And I only went to Missouri because my son was graduating from the army. And that is the only I went there twice. And that is the only reason why I went there. Okay. And now I won't say that when I was done with him that I was ready to come home because that part of Missouri where we were at, it's almost like a secluded area. There was nothing there. They didn't even have a mall in that area. And we drove an hour away and did not see not one single mall. Um, and the place that it took us to a mall was deserted. But other than that, though, it was just real calm, quiet. At nighttime, definitely, it seemed like everybody had a curfew. Like there was no one on the streets, and it was sunny during the daytime and snowing at night. But other than that, like I enjoyed being up there. It was only like a 8 hour drive. A boring drive, you know, but it didn't seem out of sorts to make that drive. Now Chicago, I would I would never go back. I have to go back to Chicago for school, and I was supposed to go this summer, but my husband is like, no, you're not going up there by yourself." So I don't know what I'm gonna do once I actually jump into my profession, because my profession requires me to go to a lot of webinars and to attend webinars and conferences and stuff like that. And I was supposed to attend one up there this summer, but I'm not done with school. As long as I do it before I graduate, they said that that would be fine. So I have to do one at least next year. But my husband's like, but you're not going by yourself. And I wouldn't want to. I'm afraid of Chicago. I'm afraid of Chicago. And it's a boring ass drive. 17 hours. It was only supposed to take 14, but it took a 17 only because we kept having to get rerouted. But all we saw was cornfields. I thought I was like in the movie of Children of the Corn or something. That's all we saw. And they didn't even have a Whataburger. So that was dead. But other than that, and plus when we went to the Chicago Bulls stand, man, somebody got shot right down the street while we was out there. We was done. So no, I'm scared of Chicago. Other than that, I can't think of anything that I would hesitate about, but traveling, definitely. I would definitely hesitate. An icebreaker. What's your go-to joke or one-liner? Okay, I don't have a go-to joke and or a one-liner, but I did read this line in a book. And I actually thought it was a pretty good line. So I'll say that line to you. So that in the book that I read, Sweet St. Louis, if you guys have ever read it, but if you didn't, consider it because it is a wonderful book. Sweet St. Louis, and I believe it is by Omar Tyree. Yeah, Omar Tyree. I have the book right here in my office. I love that book. Matter of fact, hold on, I'll show you guys. Now, don't y'all judge my book because my book is beat up. But I have read this book a gazillion times. But Sweet St. Louis by Omar Tyree. Okay. So if you guys have not read this book, you guys should consider reading this book. Okay. It is a wonderful read. But anyhow, the guy in the book, he sees the girl on the side of the street and he decides to shoot his shot with a line. And so he tells her, want to make a trade. And she said, a trade for what? And he says, a piece of me for a piece of you. So, and I thought that was an interesting line. Let's go with an activity. Okay. Build a fort. Continue playing from inside it. I hope you mean sexually, because other than that, let's do another deep card, and then I'll do one more deeper card and call it a day. This is a deep card. Would you rather lose the ability to lie, as in LIE, or believe everything that you are told? Now, just give me the ability to not lie. Because I ain't no fool. I ain't going to sit up here and believe every damn thing somebody say to me. Look at where we at now. Look at the people that's believing the shit that our president say. That's a hell to the no. Blind leading the blind. That's all right. Okay, the last card. Deeper. If you could go back and experience something again, what would it be and why? Hmm. That's a good question. Oh, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. No idea. I've been lucky in love. I have. I've never been single. I met my high school sweetheart when I was 14, and um we had our child when I was 17, and we splitsville while I was pregnant. We split, and like 6 months after having my daughter, I met my husband. But each relationship was a very romantic relationship. Um, even I dated during my pregnancy, um, and even that relationship was amazing because I sat with the subconscious thought that I was going to be looked down upon because I was a teen mom, and but that didn't happen. And his mother and his father like took me in and accepted me with open arms, as a girlfriend for their son with no judgment, and they treated my daughter with so much respect, um, that they didn't have to accept me or her, but they did. And so that was a great relationship as well. It didn't work out. Um, and then I met my husband, and we've been together ever since. And his mother and I, we didn't start out with a great relationship, of course, but by the time we got married, we had a wonderful relationship. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I had a lot of great relationships. So I have absolutely no regrets. If I did it all over again, I wouldn't even change a thing. I wouldn't. I mean, uh yeah, I can easily say, "Oh, I wish all I have 4 kids." So I can easily say, "Oh, I wish all 4 of my kids had the same father." Okay, yeah, that would be the only benefit for me, but my daughter's father was not a bad father, and he was present, and he was active. So it's not like I had to battle with anything with him. He did his job. And when I met my husband, he did his job as a stepfather. He stepped in and he was a stepfather, and the two did not butt heads. So, you know, um, so other than that, I mean, I don't know. I definitely wouldn't want to start completely over because then I'd have to go through the pregnancies, the illnesses, the labors, and I was ill when I was pregnant, so I wouldn't dare want to go that far back. So I have no idea. I have no idea what I would want to experience again. I don't know, because I've had some good moments in my life, and I just really can't pinpoint them. I'm a very simple girl. The smallest things make me happy, so I don't know. But if you guys want to respond to any of these questions that I did today, let's do a recap, okay? So if you could go back and experience something again, what would it be and why? Would you rather lose the ability to lie or believe everything you are told? Build a fort, continue playing inside of it. What's your go to joke or one liner? What's something you've been hesitant to do or accomplish because it scares you? What do you think happens after death? If you had the option to be famous, would you take it? Why or why not? What's your favorite memory of you and your friends? And why? Close your eyes. Your partner gets to trace a message on your skin using their fingers. You have to guess what they are saying. And do you prefer the window or the aisle seat, and why? Okay, so there you go, you guys. If you just now hopping on this feed, you missed a good one. Today was this is Relationship Saturday, and today's topic was the single mother versus the single father. Okay. Feel free to comment. I will respond. Most of you know I will. And I will be back on here. I'll go back to work on Monday, you guys. So I won't be on here Tuesday. And I probably won't be on here Thursday. It just depends on how hectic my work schedule is. But I know I won't be on here Tuesday. I have given up my Hot Topic Tuesdays. Okay. So I don't have that day anymore. But I do still have my Freestyle Thursdays for right now. And but I'm rocking with my Relationship Saturdays, which Saturdays was my original day. And then I just added the Hot Topic Tuesday and the Freestyle Thursday to my schedule. So that day will always be guaranteed. I will be on here no matter what. Okay. So if you guys don't mind taking a second out of your day to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Other than that, I will see you guys next week. Thank you guys for coming and tuning in. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye. Maybe we should take it slow. I don't feel too comfortable jumping into something new right now.